Well, hey everyone, Marcus here, and it is chatting in my jungle room time. And please welcome to the conversation right now, Grammy Award winning British artist Rory, who is, of course, Rag and Bone Man. Rory, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Good morning or good evening, how it is over there.
Oh, it's pretty late in the afternoon now, Rory, over here, but I know your day has just started, so you've got a whole day in front of you,
For real.
and I promise I will not wear you out.
It's all good.
See how we go. Now, of course, I mean, there's many reasons we're going to be chatting today. Obviously, the incredible new music that you brought out in 2024, the early days and all of that. But most excitedly, for your Australian fans, is there's a 2025 Australian tour kicking off, which is thrilling for all of us. Um, How do you feel about it all? So let me just quickly say, Saturday the 19th of April, it kicks off in Sydney, and then it climaxes Sunday the 27th of April in Perth, but smack bang somewhere in the middle-ish, Friday the 25th of April is Hindley Street Music Hall in Adelaide, which is where I am, so I'm excited. Woo. How do you feel about the tour?
Oh, do you know what? Like every time, I think this will be maybe my fourth time in Oz. And every time we bid, it's always the same. It's always just Sydney, Melbourne, and then maybe we go down and do Blues Fest or Splendor, and I never get to see anywhere else. So it's great. This time we get to come to Adelaide, Perth, we get to go to Brisbane and stuff. It's just, it's nice to go to the places that we haven't been before and see the people that we either haven't seen for a long time or have never seen before. So
And fingers crossed. Look, I know that it's pretty much back to back, but fingers crossed. There's a couple of days before Adelaide where you got a couple of days off. Day before you go to Perth, you got a day off. So fingers crossed, you get a little bit of sightseeing to do in South Australia. Go to some of our wineries, go to our beaches. Because it's still going to be nice weather.
yeah, cool. But what do I do in Adelaide?
Well, Adelaide, definitely go to the wineries. I don't know if you're a wine connoisseur, but yeah, definitely the wineries are definitely somewhere to go to. Even if it's not for the wine, it's for the beautiful views that some of
Yeah.
our play Barossa Valley, the Adelaide Hills, McLaren Vale, you will love it all. And then obviously go to our zoos because some of our zoos are exceptional. And then, of course, our beaches.
Are you also a tour guide as well?
Well, I can be. I can be. Hook me up. But I've
All
got
right.
to tell you, I don't care what the rest of Australia tells you. Adelaide does the best coffee. Woo,
Okay.
hands
All
down.
right.
So
It'll definitely
we've
the
got you
coffee.
covered, Rory. We've got you covered. Um, okay. Hey, so obviously your first tour since 2018, and obviously that had a bit of a hold up due to the fact of that 2020 period. But after such a big break, what are you looking forward to seeing about Australia most of all?
I think I guess wherever you go in the world, it's not just about the place, it's mainly about the people. And I think I just want to see the fans again. And obviously being such a long way away, it's not like no, I've seen them for a long time. Do you know what I mean? It's just gonna be nice to see their faces again. And hopefully there'll be some new ones too.
Absolutely, there will be. There will be. The 2016 global hit Human, which just took your career stratospheric from that point. Obviously, the album then as well with the same name, which went 4 times platinum, exceptional. Then, Life by Misadventure in 2021 continued the chart success, debuting at #1 in the UK and staying there for 7 weeks. I mean, let's just talk on that for a second because achieving that kind of level in this day and age of music being so disposable and so
Yeah.
much flux all the time, I mean, that's no mean feat. Do you look back at that and think, you know what, that was a proud moment?
Yeah, I think, do you know why I feel proud of it? It's because I think around that sort of time, there's a lot of conversations being had about it not being the era of albums anymore and people just focusing on songs and putting out singles, and everyone's like, well, albums are dead now. I've grown up on, not just loving songs, but loving whole bodies of work. I have to believe that myself, that people still listen to music in that way, because I still do. So there must be still people out there that do, and it's just proven my point that music isn't disposable.
Mhm.
Um, and maybe there is an element of it that is, but there's still people out there that want to listen to full bodies of work. So it's not only like pride, but it's also nice that it kind of reinstalls your faith in kind of albums and creating pieces of work.
I agree. I think, obviously, as in any industry, as we advance with technology and all that, everyone's kind of pushing and pulling and trying different things and trying to see what works. But you know what? The music industry, as far as creating albums go, the way the music has been done for, so many decades, has always worked as an album. So I think we always return to that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's storytelling. You can't tell the whole story in just a song. You need those 10 tracks or whatever. Um,
Absolutely.
Obviously, then we march on to 2024's What Do You Believe In? I just want to tell you some of my standouts. A Pocket, Put a Little Hurt on Me, and Wreckage. Absolute standout tracks for me. The vocals in that, the arrangements, just brilliant. Have you got a personal song from that album that really resonates with you that you hold probably closer than the rest, maybe?
Um, I think I like the title track is probably one of my favorites, but I think the opening track is probably my favorite song. It's a song that I did with my keys player and a producer called Jamie Liddell, who is a good friend of mine, and I love his work. And we made that song way before this album, probably like 4 years before, and I never used it for a Life by Misadventure album. And I don't usually go back to songs, but it's that one song that it bugged me and bugged me that I didn't use it, and it was that kind of light bulb moment of, oh, this is the right album to use this song. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yep. So, Rory Graham, going back to when you were younger, who were you
Yeah.
listening to on the radio? Who were you listening to on, the CD player, the whatever you were listening to back then, that was really inspiring you to get into the music industry?
I think, well, I'm very lucky that my mum and dad were into good music. Like my mum loved a lot of folk music, and my dad was into a lot of blues and rock music. But I think what got me really, really excited about music was seeing live music on TV. I think we had a show, or we still do have a show over here called Later with Jules Holland, and it's like
Yeah.
it's really the only music TV show that's left. There's nothing else. And just watching bands on that, and I remember, rest in peace. I remember seeing Angie Stone on there. I remember seeing D'Angelo, and just like a lot of around that sort of 99 2000 time when I was like maybe 14 years old, and I was listening to those kinds of artists. That neo soul that was kind of coming through, and that got me really excited. Just seeing them on, like, not only listening to their music but seeing them perform live was a big thing for me.
Um, so then fast forward obviously to when you start producing your own music, creating your own music, writing your own music, all of that. Um, do you, to the way that you produce your music now to when you first started off, has the process of it changed much for you mentally? Not
Well,
technology, but
I, I
mentally.
kind of hear it back and I think, wow, it's so different to when I started to what it is now. But the process hasn't really changed. My things always started with words, and if my words connected somehow to my thought process, or I just had a thought and I could make that, I could give that poetic license kind of thing, and then figure it out from there. That part of it's never really changed.
Yeah.
It's always been words first. So um, my voice has changed quite a lot. My sound has changed over the time, but the process of writing hasn't really changed.
Yeah, no, I get that. And then, like I touched on technology wise, it obviously things always change, but it doesn't mean the
Yeah.
process has to change.
No, it's all about the song. It always has been.
If you gave yourself some advice now, back when you were first starting, what would it be?
Um, Christ.
I'm asking the
Uh,
big ones, Rory.
I mean, you know what? Just it's meant to be fun and try like I've kind of taken my own advice in like to try not to take it too seriously all the time.
Yeah.
But you know, you can get caught up a little bit and the thing that I love the most about music is when me and my band are all on stage together and it's really kicking off, it's the best feeling. And that best feeling is when you're not overthinking anything.
Yeah.
You're just playing to people and giving everything that you got, and
Yeah.
that's the best part of it. So yeah, just try not to overthink everything, maybe.
Let's talk about touring then. Obviously, you've shared the stage with Calvin Harris, the Gorillas, Pink, and many
Yeah.
others. Who would be, in regards to touring or performing, who would
Mm.
be topping your bucket list to perform with next?
Oh wow. If it was absolutely anybody, I think probably like Tom York or just like as a band like Radiohead
Yeah, cool.
to have like a little snippet of being involved and that would be amazing.
Wow. Wow. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
I'll give
Please,
you a
Tom.
phone call now.
Yeah.
Hey, so let's talk about this current tour, the 2025 tour. What can we expect from it?
Um, Me and my band just having fun on stage and giving everything. I think just trying to connect with people because that's the best part of it. You know, that's it. That's all I live for is the connection with the audience. So, um, there's not some huge big production. We haven't got any fireworks or dancers or anything like that. It's just about
Beautiful.
making making the music sound as good as possible.
Have you got a ritual that you do mentally or physically before you go on stage to get you in the mood?
Um, I think nowadays I just like a little bit of calmness. I need like 10 or 15 minutes of just real calm. I just be by myself for like a little while.
Let me
Just
chill. Yeah.
just just to like gather your thoughts a little bit. I think it's nice to have that little bit of time.
And do you enjoy doing the meet and greets as well?
I mean, I find when it's like a weird meet and greet thing where people have to pay you to do it, that's very strange. But I try to, as much as I can, get out and sign stuff for people and take some pictures because, people turn up to your shows and that's a big thing for some people because I think people got some people don't have a lot of money and the fact that they spent that money on coming to see you, um, yeah, I like to go and meet fans and stuff. It's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, so what would be one of the craziest things that you've experienced, whether good or bad, that you've experienced at a show, one of your own shows?
Uh, well, weirdly, the last tour, I can't remember. There was a couple of dates we did where I don't know whether it was like mad hot in the venue or something, but people just there was people like passing out, which is quite strange. Um, but the weirdest thing was in like 2018, I toured in Germany and someone made like a weird voodoo doll of me
Oh,
and and threw it on stage.
oh wow.
And it had like real hair and shit. It
Yeah,
was very weird.
that's a bit
And
intimidating. Middle of a
y-
show.
my kid found it in my lockup,
Oh
you know,
no.
years ago, and he's like, "Daddy, what's this?" And I was like, "You don't want to know what this is." It's
Oh.
ve- yeah, it's very strange.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's pretty
I,
scary.
I couldn't get rid of it because something might happen to me. So
And look, we've probably touched on many of the things that are your greatest achievements so far in your career. Whether it be the Grammy Awards, whether it be the 7 weeks at number one. But what would maybe another one of your proudest moments be that you've achieved?
uh Children probably is probably top of my list.
Good answer.
Yeah. I love them so much, and I like have so much pride when I see them do well. So, you know, like music is great, but that sort of tops the list.
Yeah, it's about that foundation, right?
And absolutely.
Mm. Obviously they're going to probably be at school, so they're not going to be able to come on tour with you, right?
Well, hopefully next time, because I think they might be like a tiny bit too young now, but yeah, give them a couple of years and they'll be on the road with me, hopefully.
Uh, Hey, one more question for you. What inspires you these days when you sit down to write the music, the lyrics, put a concept together? What's inspiring you?
I try to be as nosy as possible because I think I think up until now I've always written very, very personally. Like I write from my own thoughts and things that happen in my own life. Um, but when I've been writing songs recently, I find I like to try and get out of that a little bit and get into other people's stories and stuff and try and be better at that because sometimes your own life maybe doesn't inspire songs as much. So yeah, I think listening to other people's conversations is always a good one.
I love it. I love it. Okay, that is brilliant. I am so looking forward to the show. But hey, just before we sign off, I just said one last question, but one more question. When you get to Australia, what's something that you're looking forward to doing outside of doing the shows? Is it
Have,
looking
having
forward
a
to
cup
anything?
having a cup of tea in a Tim Tam. That'd be nice.
Yay! Awesome.
Yeah,
And visiting the South Australian wineries. There we go.
absolutely.
I'll give you a list of things to do, my friends.
Thank you very much.
Rory, the Rag and Bone Man, will be bringing his show to Australia from Saturday, the 18th of April, kicking off in Sydney, right through to the 27th of April at the Metro City in Perth. But don't forget, 25th of April, right here in Adelaide at the High New Street Music Hall. You're going to love that venue. Rory, what an absolute delight chatting with you. I cannot wait to
Thank
see you in town in just a few short weeks' time.
Awesome. Nice to chat to you, mate.
Nice to chat to you. See you, my friends. Bye bye.